Practice stopped. Teammates rushed in to separate them. Draymond Green and Alperen Şengün were chest to chest, voices at maximum volume, and for a terrifying moment, everyone in that gym thought they were about to witness another Draymond punch. What happened during a routine Warriors practice session became one of the most intense confrontations of the NBA season, and nobody outside that gym was supposed to know about it. It was during the 2024 All-Star break, and several NBA players had gathered at the Warriors practice facility in San Francisco for informal workouts. This wasn't unusual. Players often trained together during breaks, working on their games away from the pressure of official team practices. Alperen was in the Bay Area visiting friends and had been invited by a mutual connection to join the workout. The gym that day included Draymond Green, a few Warriors players, and several other NBA athletes who were in town. What was supposed to be a casual, competitive practice session was about to turn into something nobody expected. According to multiple sources who were present, the tension started building almost immediately. Draymond, known for his intensity even in practice, was playing with his usual edge, talking trash, physical defense, and that competitive fire that has defined his career. Alperen, equally competitive despite his more reserved public persona, was matching that intensity. For about 30 minutes it was just good, hard basketball. Physical play, competitive energy, the kind of practice that makes players better. But then something shifted. One play, one moment, one exchange of words that turned competitive intensity into genuine anger. The play that sparked everything seemed innocuous at first. Alperen had the ball at the top of the key, facing up against Draymond in what was supposed to be a one-on-one possession. He made a move, got past Draymond with a step back, and hit a fadeaway jumper while Draymond was still recovering. As Alperen backpedaled down the court, he said something. Multiple witnesses couldn't agree on the exact words, but the consensus was that it was standard trash talk, something about old man defense, or too slow. Nothing that would normally cause a problem in an NBA setting where trash talk is constant. But Draymond's response was immediate and volcanic. He stopped dead, turned around, and started walking directly toward Alperen, his voice rising with each step. "What did you just say? You think you're tough because you made one shot?" The gym got quiet instantly. Everyone who knows Draymond recognized that tone. This wasn't playful competition anymore. This was about to get real. Alperen, to his credit, didn't back down. "It's just basketball, man. You talk trash all game, but you can't take it?" That response was gasoline on a fire. Draymond exploded. "You don't know me. You don't know what I've won. You're out here thinking you're somebody because you can pass the ball? I'll show you what real intensity is." Within seconds, they were chest to chest, not a basketball position, a confrontation position. Draymond was pointing in Alperen's face, and Alperen was standing his ground, neither player willing to back down an inch. What happened next made everyone in that gym move at once. Draymond gave Alperen a two-handed push to the chest, not a full shove, but enough to make the Turkish center stumble back a step, the kind of push that in any other setting might lead to a fight. Alperen's immediate reaction shocked everyone. Instead of pushing back or getting physical, he stepped forward again, right back into Draymond's space, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "I'm not Jordan Poole. Push me again and see what happens." The reference to Draymond's infamous punch of his then-teammate Jordan Poole hung in the air like a bomb. Everyone in that gym knew the history, the practice fight that had been caught on video, the suspension, the controversy, and Alperen had just thrown it directly in Draymond's face. For a split second, Draymond looked like he might actually throw a punch. His hands came up, his body tensed, and the witnesses present later described feeling genuine fear that they were about to see violence. But before anything could happen, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, who had been on the other end of the court, sprinted over and got between them. Steph grabbed Draymond, Klay positioned himself in front of Alperen, and several other players formed a human barrier. "Bro, chill! This is practice," Steph was saying to Draymond, his hands on his teammate's chest. "It's not that serious." But Draymond was still heated, still trying to get around Steph. "Nah, this kid needs to learn some respect. You don't come into our gym and talk about—" Klay cut him off, loud and firm. "Dre, walk away, right now." For about 5 minutes, the two players were kept on opposite ends of the gym while they cooled down. Draymond paced near the baseline, still visibly angry, talking animatedly with Steph and other Warriors players. Alperen stood near the other baseline, breathing hard, his jaw set, clearly still amped up from the confrontation. The practice session had effectively ended. Several players started gathering their things. The energy completely changed from the competitive fun it had been earlier. But then something unexpected happened. Draymond, after talking with Steph for several minutes, walked across the court toward Alperen. Everyone tensed. Was this about to start again? Instead, Draymond extended his hand. "Yo, that was out of pocket," he said, his voice calmer but still intense. "I came at you too hard. But you bringing up that Poole situation? That's not cool either." Alperen looked at the extended hand for a moment, then took it. "You're right. That was a cheap shot. My bad." They shook hands, but this wasn't a warm reconciliation. This was two competitors acknowledging they'd crossed a line while still making it clear neither had backed down. "But for real," Draymond added, and several witnesses said there was almost a smile in his voice. "Don't ever think you can out-intensity me. That's my whole game." Alperen's response was equally loaded. "And don't think you can bully me because you've got championships. I'm not here to be intimidated." What happened in that Warriors practice facility was supposed to stay there. NBA players have an unwritten code about practice incidents. What happens in the gym stays in the gym, but with that many witnesses, the story inevitably leaked. Within days, whispers started circulating in NBA circles about the Draymond-Alperen incident. Reporters started asking questions, though nobody who was present would go on the record with details. When Draymond was finally asked about it during a podcast appearance, his response was classic Dre. "Look, stuff happens in practice. That's how you know it's real basketball. Me and that kid from Turkey had a moment. We handled it. That's it." But then he added something that caught people's attention. "I'll say this, though. That kid don't back down from nobody. I respect that. Even when it got intense, he stood there. That's real." For Alperen, the confrontation became part of his growing reputation as someone who, despite his skill-based game, wouldn't be pushed around physically or mentally. The story of standing up to Draymond Green, arguably the NBA's most intense competitor, earned him respect throughout the league. Today, both players downplay the incident when asked about it, but those who were in that gym that day tell a different story, a story of genuine anger, physical tension, and a moment that came dangerously close to becoming another ugly chapter in Draymond's history. Instead, it became a story about two fierce competitors pushing each other to the edge, then choosing respect over violence. And in the NBA, where egos and intensity often collide, that might be the most impressive outcome of all.